What's up, guys? It's your girl CandiKLynn,
And your girl AM.
and we are giving you guys exclusive content while we are on a season break. We are on tonight talking about toxic behavior. AM,
Yes.
AM. We were gone last week, so I felt like it was perfect for you and I to come on and to talk about toxic behavior. So
Toxic.
you posted a status on your Facebook page, and that was like perfect topic. You were talking about your toxic behavior. So I just wanted to bring that conversation from your Facebook page over here live to kind of talk
Over
about
live.
what is toxic behavior.
I think we all know what toxic behavior is. It's unhealthy traits. Something that is not good for your health, whether it be mental, emotional, or physical. It
Okay.
is it is slowly killing you, whether you know it or not.
But do you think people like understand that the ish is toxic when they're in that relationship?
Sometimes you do. Definitely do. I think a lot of people do. I think a lot of people just don't want to acknowledge it. You don't want to leave it. A lot of people don't want to leave a toxic relationship, but this has some good traits. Some toxic things have good traits. It doesn't mean they're good for you just because it's like it's fun or it's something you're used to. It doesn't make it good. Candy K, I'm pretty sure you've had your bouts of toxic traits and toxic relationships.
Me, you can't believe that I'm toxic. Um,
Yes, I'm a Libra too. I know we kind of toxic. We're not a lot, but we definitely a
so
little bit.
So before we share those stories, right? Because I feel like people log in our show because they like to hear the stories. Before we go into that, like, what were some of you when you real? Because I was probably 25 ish before I like understood that it was other people's toxic behavior that was like
Mm.
we were being toxic together, and I was probably like 30 before I like really understood
Your part
we
in it.
really yeah like well before I acknowledge right because that's toxic
Mm.
behavior too before I was willing to acknowledge the toxic behavior so um like for me I'm pretty chill like for the most part you
Yeah.
don't bother me I won't bother
Don't bother
you
you. Yeah.
yeah I'm just a kind of a
Simple.
chill person right but it took me a while to realize that when I'm around toxic people I am like it comes out because people poke the bear they
Oh
know
yeah, that's my
exactly what
favorite
it
thing to say. Don't poke the bear.
Yeah,
Don't
they
poke the
know what to do to like agitate you or push you over the edge. And so it's just like those type of things. But I had never I don't feel like I grew up in a toxic house. Like my brother feels like he grew up in a toxic he identifies I guess the toxic behaviors of my parents, but I don't feel like for the most part it was like toxic in my house like that. So when I became an
Well,
adult,
I was like, because as a kid, you shouldn't see it. As a kid, you should be like, oh yeah,
right,
I
but
can tell my parents toxic.
even as an adult, like I see like little stuff like that they do in adults sphere that I'm like, y'all kind of toxic as hell together. Like, you know, and
Yeah.
I understand like where mine comes from, but like tell me like maybe one or two of your toxic behavior traits that you've identified as an adult.
Oh, I'm petty. Petty as hell. If you
Yeah.
hurt my feelings, I'm gonna hurt your feelings. Like I will go below the belt before I realize it. I instantly apologize. I'd be like, dang, see, I ain't even want to say that, but you were bothering me. So it came out. I'm sorry, but leave me alone. I'm very petty. Although I'm working on that, I'm very petty. I will definitely go below the belt. Uh, I don't like to talk when I'm angry. If I'm really angry, I need a second because then we go back to the second part of toxicity where I'm going to say something. 'Cause I think communication is key, but
Right.
sometimes I get into the heat of moment where I just can't talk to you at this moment,
Mhm.
and I just need to walk away.
Mhm.
Uh, let me think. Oh, I'm very, very. I think I'm needy. I don't realize that I am kind of needy, but it's probably why I can't date people with kids because your kids are needy. I'm needy. You can't, it's hard to balance.
Right. Right.
But and neediness can be toxic depending on the level of it. Also, I keep things to myself. Like, sometimes in relationships I don't tell the part of the some personal things I'm going through, which is also toxic because you'll take that your emotions, your feelings, and you'll put that onto the other person without them knowing why.
dang, like that's self-reflection at its best. Like you looked in the mirror and you said, you know, here's me and here's my reflection.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that's big of you, right? I think that people sometimes don't understand that. I think that people don't sometimes understand that you have to identify what your issues are to like
Oh yeah, yeah,
acknowledge it. So
yeah.
you and I have Libra spirits. I am the gift of Goddard, so I guess that makes me petty. Um,
Probably, most likely.
yeah, I guess it makes me petty. I don't apologize because if I say certain things, I probably meant it, and I feel like it's being fake to apologize to you. So, uh, I've
I
grown.
apologize.
I've learned to like not say anything, and now I'm kind of working on. I'll get quiet, and he'll be like, "What you was about to say?" I was like, "Don't even worry about it. I ain't gonna say it because I'm trying to like
Yeah, because not be
deflect the
petty.
thoughts." Yeah, I'm trying, but not be ugly. Like,
Oh yeah, it's also about how you say stuff. I realize you have to say how you feel, but maybe not while you're angry, because it's
because
not
I'm
going to
like,
come out healthy.
yeah, like
Yeah,
I
it's not gonna
burn.
come out.
I'm like, let me light you up. Like I'm looking for a match to set you on fire,
I want you to be
and
thinking about it days
yeah,
later.
and I want
Yeah,
you to wonder.
yeah,
I want you to have questions, and so
yeah.
petty, lack of accountability for a long time. I'd be like, what? Like growing up around men, I learned how to play like
Stupid.
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 You know, like deny, 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 deny. For a long time, that was me. I refuse to admit that I took any part in the situation. So I'm gonna put it all on you. Um, and I will get to that level. Like when you're with, I feel like when you're with people that are toxic, you become
Toxic.
like
You're
three
more
times as
toxic.
toxic.
All my toxic trait come out when someone, and it's like you're bringing the worst out of me. I'm not this person. Like
Yeah.
I can be this person, but you're making me be this person. I don't want to be this person. You're toxic. I don't need to talk to you.
It is
Yes,
a
I
reality that you know you're wrong, right? Like that's the internal conflict that I think we deal with as Libras because it's like I'm better than that. Like once you do stuff,
yeah
and that's why I say it's like you know you better than that. You know you've been taught better than that. So it's kind of like judgment on myself. So I had to learn how not to deal. I don't deal with like extremely toxic people because they have you out here acting crazy. Like I just it don't work for me. Like I need people that are
yeah. But
balanced.
so how do you know that you're talking to someone toxic? You asked me, so how do you know like you are officially with someone or talking to someone that is now toxic?
So when you say like needy, I can't do needy men. Like
Okay.
it doesn't work for me. Don't need me. Don't ask me where I am. Don't call me every 5 minutes. Don't like if you do that in the first week, I'm gonna probably block you.
See, I'm not that type
I,
of needy. I'm like, come over middle of the week, even though I know you got to work in the morning. Type of needy.
yeah, I
Stay
probably
the
will block
night
you.
all 5 days of the week. Type of
I will
needy.
block you. Right, because for me it doesn't work.
I
I
guess.
can't I just can't do it. Like I get
I
annoyed.
thankfully I've never dated a leather Libra because they probably would get annoyed. I have adapted where it doesn't bother me. I'm like, okay, yeah, I like it, but I get it. You know, I do get it. I sometimes do prefer my space now. I'm getting to the point where I like being by myself. It's nice being by myself. Actually, it's less stressful. I save more money.
Hmm. And
Sleep better.
Brandy said it just perfectly. Toxic people will purposely provoke you to act out. They
Yes.
poke the bear. Like
Yep. That's what I
they
always say.
and when you being toxic, right? I used to do that. I wake up in the morning on it. I would wake up in the morning like you was messing with me yesterday. Today is my turn. I would
Oh, I'm not that bad. That's toxic for real. I
I
try
would
to
just
let
be
things go. I'm gonna let her go
start
with
a
it.
fight. I-
No, no. I like the end fight. I don't really like fighting. I don't like arguing. And the crazy thing, I don't like fighting or arguing, but I will. And that's why, because I know I'll go low. I'll go real low. If you want to argue with me and not have an intelligent conversation, because arguing, you don't get anything solved by arguing.
You don't.
So, so it's like, what? Why do you want to argue with me? Like, I don't want to argue with you. And then the reality is, you really don't want to argue with me because
You
I've been
don't.
holding on to the things, and
You don't.
I'm gonna make you cry in doing this argument. I don't think you would deal with me.
So that, but see, that's the thing, right? So I guess that is our Libra spirit because it is. I want to see you cry, especially like as a woman. Like when a man, I can break you down. Like as an adult, I realized you it's just bad behavior, and it only happens with other people that are toxic. Like non-toxic people, they never even engage in that type of behavior. They're like, what?
Behavior. True.
Yeah, they're like, what did you say? Like, and now I am like Brandy said earlier in the comments. I will go away from you. So
Oh yeah,
like,
you gotta get away from me. Yeah,
I
you
will
disturb my
go
peace. I agree with you.
even in an argument. Like real story, right? So you know, back in the day, I used to be a little, because I was in a toxic.
Free. Free.
I was free, but I was in a toxic situation, and together we were toxic as hell. And we would get into these arguments, and I would be ready. I would leave. I'd be trying to leave because my cousin stayed in the. We stayed in the same apartment complex. Me and my cousin. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just go over his house and I'm gonna blow off some steam. Y'all, this dude who's probably like watching somewhere, this dude would take the piece off of my car. Like he knew how to go under the car because he worked on cars, and he would take the piece off. Well, now I'm like stuck. I like have to stay
Yeah.
in the apartment complex. I can't go anywhere, and you would do it like on purpose, and it would just like send me over the edge. So it's
Who would
just
think
like,
of that? Like, you know what?
listen,
I'm gonna go take a tire off that big car. Watch her leave in
listen,
there. Watch.
listen.
Like
Antoinette,
if that's toxic, that is toxic. If you're that's like taking my, you know what? That is toxic, people. If someone is taking something that belongs to you, so you can't, like taking a cell phone, taking your keys. That's also a sign of an
he would take
abusive
my keys.
relationship.
He would take
That's
my
part of an
keys.
abusive relationship. He's trying to
He would
isolate you.
he would
Those are
take my
levels. It's
keys.
levels.
He would like lock the door, right? So I'm not sharing any more Sundays without payment, right? But there are people who can verify. He would lock the door in the apartment from the inside because he, as they say, he was a spider ninja. He could crawl across the balcony and come off the balcony. So he would come through the patio,
Who
just like
who is who balconies he come? He coming on strangers' balconies to lock you out the
no,
apartment?
it would be our like the way our bedroom had the sliding door that went out to the patio. He would
Okay.
come out of the bedroom onto the patio and hop the way that the patio was. You could get over. He could like climb over the patio over the rail, like go out of the apartment. It was like you just he would just do the most.
What floor did y'all live
We
on?
live on the second floor. Like, did you hear me
I
say
guess I
spider
guess that's I
ninja?
guess that's not deaf. I mean, I'm thinking
Oh,
like
he
I
would
live
have
on the
cleared it.
third floor. I'm not climbing off no third floor balcony
He
because you
probably
can
would
break
have
some
cleared it.
some.
He probably would have known. This was like we were young. He was still athletic and agile. Like he probably would have cleared it. But that's when like it took like looking back and reflecting. At that time, I was like,
Yeah, that's
"Stop."
toxic.
It's just I was just making all kinds of like now I'm like
No, let's
people.
run. I'm running far away from you because that is not. Why are you taking pieces of my car? Why are you taking a piece off and it break? Now my car doesn't work at
Well,
all.
he knew how to fix the car. Like, listen, he was a bootleg of all bootleggers. If anything's broke, he could fix it. He could fix the
But
car.
still,
He could fix.
what risk having to give me a whole new part but taking some shit that don't belong to you off that?
But why not just let me leave?
I mean that too. That
Why
too.
not just when people want to leave, let them go. Like I am a firm believer. I'm not standing in front of the door. I ain't blocking doors. I ain't standing in front of the car. I ain't going outside to the car. Let them
Yeah, I'm not
go.
begging you to stay either. That's also a no no. You want to
That's a
leave?
toxic behavior. Yep. Yeah, and you should, right? Because sometimes people just need to breathe. Like maybe tomorrow I'll come back. I mean, and maybe it was because I
Now
was
I ain't
like
gonna
on
lie.
my
That used to be my talk straight. When I want to talk about something, we gonna talk about it now. Ain't no tomorrow. Now I realize it's not the best time to talk. Someone needs a minute or two to talk, then let them talk. But I used to be, oh no, we're not getting off this phone until we solve this. Oh no, we ain't going to bed before 4 o'clock in the morning. We're not going to bed until we solve that. I realize that's toxic.
but what are we solving?
That's also absolutely nothing because nothing got solved. We still angry, or we resolve it so we can go to bed. That used to be the common thing. Like, okay, whatever you say, you're right. And I realize that's not solving it, but Now that's that, but again, that's like high school, college. And it's still it wasn't healthy. But I think the
But
older you get, the more your toxic traits change.
well, and hopefully the less toxic you become. Like, hopefully we are being observant of our behavior and our character traits and saying, hey, as you said, people need 2 minutes to calm down. I need to like one of the things I do is I put space between me. So after being in that situation, I learned how to put space between me and the other person if there's an argument, because I need to not be able to touch you and you need to be able to not touch
You
me.
used to be a type
So
of person to put their hands on people. Okay.
absolutely.
Now that's toxic. Abuse is toxic.
Absolutely. But only in that particular situation is what I'm telling you. Like, it was like we just weren't good for each other. Like, behavior that I've never exhibited in any other relationship. I don't even care most of the time now, because once you've been through certain stuff, you just say to yourself, like, I left that situation because I was like, I ain't going to jail.
Yeah.
Because I could own, you know what I'm saying? At some point, I figured out how to own my own. What role am I playing in this situation?
Yeah. And that's
How
the
can
thing.
I
People don't know
change
how to
it?
do that. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, and that's all I tell women. Like, we have these conversations so that other people can see, okay, well, maybe I've done that. Like, we're not judging you because I've been that girl. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Been through the
I
phone. I done went through phones. I didn't text a couple hundred times. I didn't called a couple hundred
how
times.
many how many
Now, one
times?
thing I've never done is pop up. I don't do pop ups, and that's because I am a firm believer that you pop up to my house, you're not getting in. Even if we're on good terms, don't pop up to my house.
But if you go looking for stuff, you're gonna find what you're looking for too. And that's what
Oh
people
no,
need to
I
be.
have I have definitely realized that. That's why again I was a toxic person that would find what I was looking for, and I wouldn't say nothing. I sure wouldn't.
You're
I would
Libra.
hold it
You sit on
in.
it.
I'd be
You
like,
sit.
oh, okay, and not say anything for months.
Mhm.
Second, something you want to judge me? Oh, we're pointing fingers now. Okay, let's sit down and talk about finger pointing, and then I'll let it all out. Yeah, I was
Mhm.
that toxic person because there's also toxic people. Don't
It
be
is.
holding stuff in, and then when you mess up, use that against that person. Something you've been knew about. Leave
Because
the
they don't even know
situation.
why you mad. You see what I'm saying? Like, when you holding stuff
Yeah,
for 6 months, the other person doesn't even realize that you have this information. So then when you uppercut them, it's just like, well, what are you talking about? Why didn't you? And I
why
say
didn't you
speak
say
up.
this? Yep.
Yeah, why
Why didn't
didn't
you
you
say
say
this
this?
months ago? Yep.
Speak up. And it's a learning thing, like, right? Because we as adults, we carry the behaviors that we pick up are things that we've learned. We've seen it, we've learned it. We don't know how to deal with our emotions. I think a lot of times
True.
when we're young, like, how do we process them? What does love look like? What is love supposed to look like? Love
Well,
is
no one
not
teaches
supposed
you
to look
how to
like that.
process your feelings.
You said
No
love teaches
one,
you that?
no one ever teaches anyone how to process their feelings. We are told what your feelings are. These are your list of feelings. And the thing is, there's more than the list of feelings they tell you as a kid that you have. There's a long list of emotions that you go through that no
Right.
one ever tells you about. So when you go through these feelings, what am I feeling? What is this? Why am I feeling like this? What is this feeling? It's because
Mm-hmm.
no one ever tells you that in life you're going to feel annoyed, agitated, you're going to feel long. It's a long list of things that you never know about emotion that you're going to feel, and that also leads to toxic traits because you don't know how to express your feelings because you don't know what your feelings are.
Exactly. Verbal abuse is just as toxic as physical abuse. I
Oh,
agree.
definitely.
I agree. And that's why AM and I, the Libras, we shut up. I have learned how to just shut up,
But
because
yeah,
you can't take some of it back. And
no,
whatever is out there in the
can't say
atmosphere,
it back.
now it's
Once you
out there.
say it,
Once
ain't
you
no
say
coming
it,
back.
yeah, and it's tumbling around, like, right. And every once in
Yeah,
a while, I do get caught like with small stuff, but I really try to be mindful of the things that I say. One of the other things I used to do that was toxic as hell is text. I would pretend like I was texting the wrong person on purpose, like, so,
yeah,
like,
that's toxic.
say that, like, me and you were together or whatever, and I'd be like, oh, that was for somebody else. So I sent you this message. Oh, I'm so in love with you. I can't wait to hang out with you. I can't wait to be with you. And I'll be like,
You're
you'll be like,
starting an
what?
argument. First off, you're starting an argument. That's also toxic. I had a friend that said she
That
liked
is
to start
toxic.
arguments when she bored. I was like, that's not healthy. Go read a book. Go run or some shit. Don't be starting an argument when you bored. That's not okay. Because my thing is, me starting to argue with me is either gonna go two ways. I'm either gonna like laugh at you because I'm not gonna argue with you, which makes people madder. People, I have never seen a woman get more angry than she being angry, and I'm laughing at her anger. It's like it goes from like 10 to 20 real quick. So I'll either laugh at an argument or I'll be like, "Why do you want to argue? Let's just talk. What is honestly wrong with what is wrong? Let's start there. What do you want me to do to fix it? Let's
Well,
start there.
sometimes it's
That's
not
better.
that. I mean, but also communication, right?
Yeah.
Toxic
True.
traits, like you said, they play off of the lack of communication, the lack of having the ability to know what you're feeling, knowing how
Yeah.
to express what it is that you're feeling, right? And no one teaches you that. One of the things that I do with young girls that I mentor, or like the ones that I raise, is that we do talk about feelings. We do talk about emotions. We do talk about when you're dating that things will turn upside down overnight. What you
Yes.
think
Yes, they
is
will.
may not be. What you think that you feel about that person, they may not reciprocate that same emotion. How do you sit with it? How do you process it? How do you talk about it? Because nobody taught us that, you
No.
know?
No one told us as proud to. No one told you how to deal with your emotions, and then we also didn't get explained about every emotion we could feel.
Right.
So it's like then you're dealing with again. Then you're having to deal with someone else's emotions in a relationship, and then you have times where no one knows how to feel or express their feelings, which leads to more complications.
So, like, can you tell me about a time where you were like expressing yourself and the other person like didn't know how to respond or how they responded when you were like pouring your heart out?
Oh, I last toxic situation was someone that we argued all the time. And I was like, "Do you realize that we argue every day?" I literally had to sit there and I stopped. Like, do you realize we argue every day? They're like, "Yeah, but it'd be about little stuff." I said, "But that's still not healthy. Like, why do we argue every?" And they just couldn't get. They thought it was normal to argue, or they thought that it was nothing. It was insignificant because we were arguing about little stuff. But it was literally every day it was something. I was like, this isn't normal. I kept feeling I'm like, this isn't normal. I kept telling myself, why are we going through any problems? Like, this isn't normal to argue with someone this much. It could be like, I could say, hey, can you pass me something? No. Okay, I was like, I'm a why person. I'm a why bitch. Why? Why can't you pass it to me? I don't feel like it. 10 minutes later, can you go in the kitchen? No, I'm
That's
not.
me. Did you forget?
Why not? Because I don't feel like it. The same answer you gave me. But please, no. And that'll be a whole other argument. You don't want to do that. Do you not realize you told me no 10 minutes ago for something easier? Yes.
That you
So
refuse just to, yeah.
no,
That's
no. It that led me to realize that no matter like toxic traits have to be addressed, and then if it isn't fixed, I need to leave you alone. That's what they taught me. That time I'm going to address your toxic behavior. If you do not change your toxic behavior, you cannot be here.
period.
Period.
Because I can't be stuck.
Period.
And to answer, so you said something earlier, right? There were two things that you said that I want to touch on before we like wrap up for the night. You said that you have been the person that goes through the phone,
I did
and
plan.
you are the
I did
person
plan.
that send
I did.
messages and call. I did that one time, and I felt so stupid afterwards, and I've never done it again. Why do people do that? Like, what was your why for doing it multiple
Well,
times?
I didn't send it. I didn't like text anybody on her phone. No.
Okay,
Or text any numbers. What I meant was like, I would be the person that if you didn't want to talk to me, I would blow up your phone.
okay,
But that's high school, college. I would call your phone repeatedly. I would text your phone repeatedly. I was that person. You'll see a long list of calls and texts.
okay.
Now, going through the phone, I just felt like something was off. If I felt like something was off, and I kept feeling something off, every time I felt something was off, I would go and find what I knew was there. I would, and thing is, and the reason why I never brought it up was because I invaded their privacy first. You invade their privacy, people. So you cannot be mad when you invade someone's privacy, which is what I was like, I'm invading their privacy. I cannot be mad at what I find. Secondly, if you look for something, you will find it. You will find it. It could be years ago in their phone, but because you're looking for it, you're going to find it. So you're going. I already knew I was going to find something, and thoroughly, I wanted to prove I wasn't crazy. I can admit that I felt like something was up, and I would ask, and it was like nothing, 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 nothing. And I kind of wanted it. I did it to ease my own mind. That's why I never brought it up. It was like, okay, I'm not crazy. I was right. Here's the proof. I'm gonna let it go. And the thing is, I'm the type of person. I will act like everything is perfectly okay. I am not gonna act the fool. I am not. I've acted the fool one time when I found something, and that's because that person that literally went off on me for something, and I went. I was like, I've been feeling like something wrong. I'm gonna go to your phone and find out what I already know was going on, and I'm gonna talk to you about it because you're not gonna fuss at me because I'm a very honest person. So she didn't like. I had an ex that didn't like me texting exes, but exes that are my friend. We stay in a friend zone, like
Mm-hmm.
friend. So they had a problem with it, and I was like, something isn't sitting right with me. Because I'm being honest with you, I'm being very transparent. I talked to blank blank today. It was a very short conversation, and I was very open. I was like, something's up. So I went through a phone. They were texting three different people.
But people normally are like on edge when it's them.
When they're doing something wrong,
And
I was like, okay, you're
yeah,
doing something. You think that I'm doing something, but I'm just telling you the truth. So I know you're doing something.
that's the reason why they felt that way. And for me, I just say like I think it's so tacky for men to do it. I think that like especially with everybody, I do because people will always say women are so emotional. Women are so emotional, so emotional.
Eh,
Men are so freaking emotional and petty, and they call people back and they text
they do.
message people like, "Please, men, you look crazy."
Men will
And
text
now I
somebody
found your
back
soft
quicker.
spot. And that's my toxic behavior. Like I'm like I will scope you out like prey, and I will find your weakness, and I used to like pounce on it. So, like for me, don't like. I think it's just so like address your woman. Like don't be calling no other man about your
Oh yeah, yeah,
woman.
yeah.
Like
I don't
I
do
just
that.
think it's not cute. Like
It's not, and it's not their
and
fault. It's not their fault.
and, and listen, men, this is my PSA to you and other women. If you don't pay my phone bill, do not go through my phone. Like,
Yeah,
just
it's not
don't
okay.
do it.
It's not
Whatever
okay.
you're
I don't go through
feeling,
phones anymore.
if you
It's
can't
not okay.
catch me, you just can't catch me. You just can't
No, no.
catch
If
me.
you're feeling like something
But
is wrong,
don't go
break
through
up with
my
them.
phone.
If you feel like
Don't
something's
go through
wrong,
my
break up
phone.
with them. My advice not is break up with them.
Well, my
If you
advice
feel
is stop looking for stuff. Deal with what's in front of you. If you ask people and they don't give you the information that you're looking for, then it's AM says, then leave. But for me, the reality is, like, I've had people that I've not been in relationships with in those moments that I'm thinking, oh, okay, I can trust them, been together for whatever, off and on years. Come home, you done been through my iPad. Like, why?
yeah, I
Why?
never
Like,
went through
don't,
someone that
just
wasn't
don't,
my significant other phone.
you're gonna be mad.
Yeah, of course.
I
If you
just
go
think,
through someone that don't belong to you phone, I'm the type of person. We're not together. I'm handing you your phone backwards. I
I don't
I
care.
don't need to see who you talk. I'm not gonna ask you who you just got on the phone with. You can go outside and have a whole conversation. That's your business.
And remember,
That's
this show is
completely
called
yours.
situationship talk. If
Right.
we in
But
a
I just need
situationship, you my sneaky link. I don't care
at
who
all.
you talking to, and
At
don't
all.
call me. Women, don't call me. Don't call me about your husband. Don't call me
Oh
about your
yeah.
boyfriend. Don't
I've gotten a
call me.
text. I've gotten text and I was like, yeah, I'm not finna do this with you. If you don't get off my phone, get off my phone. Like,
It's
what is wrong
weird.
with you?
And I'm a firm believer that people should have other friends. Like I don't care if it's the same sex, the opposite sex.
Mhm.
I should not be restricted to having to just talk to you. That ain't healthy either. And I think
No.
people should understand that. Like that's not healthy. You know what? You pissed me off because of XYZ. Now I become toxic because I told you everything I hate about you in one breath. Like I just
It's like
feel like
you
we
do
gotta
this,
have some
this, this,
balance.
this, 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 and that. Yeah. And I feel like if someone is making you dive into your what I realize as an adult, I'm gonna always have toxic traits. You're gonna always have toxic traits, people. You cannot get rid of them. You can change your toxic traits. You can observe them, but okay, I need to do this instead of that. You're going to always be somewhat toxic. All you can do is work on finding someone that doesn't pull out the toxicity in you, or work on it, and also self-reflect. You know you have a toxic trait. You know what your triggers are. It's important to know your triggers, and it's important to tell your partner your triggers so they won't trigger you.
I agree.
It's so true.
Brandy, I agree. Next season, season 2, we gonna talk about opposite sex and can they be friends. Y'all, we thank y'all for taking time to join us for Situationship Talk. This is
Yeah,
the toxic behavior episode with me and AM.
yeah,
AM, I had
y'all.
fun. I think we should do
I
it
did.
again.
Us Libras definitely had fun. Definitely opened up about our toxic behaviors.
Our toxic behavior,
People,
y'all.
don't be toxic out there. Try to be as healthy as possible for the person that you love.
Exactly. But y'all stay tuned. Make sure you're following the page. We have show next week.
Much
We
more
got
to
some
come.
guests popping in to talk to you guys, and we'll be back for season
Yes.
2 in October. Other than that, good night. Till next
Good
time.
night,
It's your girl.
everybody. Peace.
Bye.